love all of you that are so far away and still able to join with us. We love you, Victoria, and all those others that are here with us. So anyway, today is a 12-step spirituality celebration. I just want to let you know that Priyasi worked so hard in getting 12 items in a row to go stepping up on the altar there. If you noticed when she did that, it was really sweet of her to come early and to do that extra work and kind of get the steps when she did this way. So we all are familiar with the 12-step program. The reason why we really love it at Gathering of Light, because it says that a spiritual solution is a viable solution to all the problems in your life, right? So we are people that want to really develop our spirituality and make it be something very positive and practical in our lives. We really want it to work. And so here we have, in our words of wisdom, these words from Bill Wilson that he's talking about as this experience that he had in really surrendering. And all the songs that we were singing today and all of that build up, it's all about let the signs remind you to surrender, to surrender. What is it that you put before your relationship with the divine in your life? This is the first step. The first step is thinking about that we minimize who we are. We forget who we are. We don't come back to the power and the presence and the love and the glory that we're meant to live and the grace that we're meant to walk in our lives when we put other things before the presence and the power of the connection to the divine in our lives. And what happens is we become powerless over it. It started out with AA. Right now there are so many different programs that are out there. So if you are putting food in front of the divine, if you're putting games in front of the divine, if you're putting relationships in front of the divine, and certain people in front of the divine, if you're putting shopping in front of the divine, if you're putting, I can go on. It's a lot of different things now. But it goes to show you how obsessive we get, and we forget over and over again. We forget who we are, we forget our purpose, and we forget this relationship, this possibility to be ignited and to be empowered by a presence that can do so much more in our lives, for our lives, and have us experience something so profoundly greater than the littleness that we continue to put in our lives. I say, well, it's so funny because to use, substances, we say it's a high. And I say it's a cover. It's a pretend. You think you're high, but what you're doing is you're turning off that connection and you're covering. And there's so many ways that we cover the connection by distortion and by distraction in our lives. But coming back to that and coming back to it takes something that the 12 steps were very brilliant and inspired, divinely inspired, in their call to do it. And that means the negation of the ego self, the personality, to stop getting caught up in who I think I am, to come back to this place to find out who I truly am, so that this relationship can be pure and can be connected, that we need to go, as he said in our words of wisdom, we need to dig root and branch and dig down to all those things, all those places within us that are blocking us. Because those are the things unconsciously, those are the things deep down inside that were buried in there, and we want the other, when they start to come up, that's when we reach, we grab, we do the other things. We're meant to feel. We're meant to be alive in life. Bless you. We're meant to do that. We're meant to sneeze. We're meant to laugh. We're meant to cry. We're meant to have, to be in pain, but we're also meant to be in joy. We're meant to move through and with and do it all. And we don't have to do just one thing at a time. It's vast. It's vast. We were doing the water ceremony a few weeks ago. We were doing the videos about it. I'm watching the video. It was a wonderful job. And we thank Melissa again for that great job that she did on it. And if you look at everybody talking, but the waves are right there. It's almost as if the waves are coming up on top of everybody as they're speaking. But you watch the ocean, right? One wave is going one way, another one's going another way, and they're crisscrossing and they're crashing into each other. And the ocean is just kind of still all sitting there. And that's the way we need to live our lives when we surrender. We're just in the flow of life. We're doing the things. Right? But a lot of times people get on the spiritual journey and people say, oh, you're crashing. Oh, why are you feeling down? Oh, why are you having a bad day today? Aren't you spiritual? Didn't you connect to the divine? No. You're that day. That's all part of it. But the secret behind the 12 steps, the secret behind a true spiritual journey is that you never forget that connection to the ocean behind whichever way your wave is going.
Amen. We are the ocean.
You feel it. You know it. You're grounded in it. It's kind of there. So you allow life to do the things that it does. And you don't get tossed by it. Because you're not something sitting on it. You're it. Right? You're it. We have that whole depth to guide us, to be there with us. But we need to stop thinking that we're a little cup or a little dinghy or a little ship sitting on top of the water and the waves are pushing us around. Right?
Amen.
So you have to, so this is the part of the process. Right? I can't, God can, let's let him. Right? So what we need to do is to know that that ocean is there, to know that there is this energy and this power and this connection that's going to help me rise up from all of the little things that I put in the way of that. Have you ever said, oh, I'm never going to do that again, and then did it? That's one of those things. Doesn't have to be a big thing. But if that's your thing, if that's one of your things, that's your thing. That's that little hammer and the nail of the bolt that you're trying to get yourself away from your higher power and disconnect. And then keep doing it over and over and over again. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Gotta surrender and you gotta jump in. And the 12 steps say, this is very amazing, the way they say to jump in is to stop thinking of yourself first. How can I be of use to my fellow? Because that's what the other stuff is about, right? Oh, it's me. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way they're doing it to me. I don't like what I have. I think I need more. I need, right? So that whole thing, the world revolves around the great I. That's our problem of saying that. And now, you can do that. That's great. You can, we don't say whatever way you want to live your life. But I'm saying if you want to grow spiritually, spirituality is bigger than that. You can't have like a little I and this great spirit, right? Then again, the little I is the boat sitting on top of the water. Be the waves. Let around, be joyous, be fun. Be all those other things. But be part of the ocean and not keep building that separation. That ship. So the way that we stop thinking of ourselves and we allow for others to think of others. How can I be useful today? Help me to do your will through me and not what I think you want me to do. It's a very hard little tricky step there. Right? And that the 12 steps give different things. Like they say, okay, if you're being stubborn and really smart, because we all have these great ideas, and you think you know what you're supposed to do and what God's will is for you in that situation, then you have to look at character defects in your life. and then it tells you what to do with those character defects as another step, is to say, to humbly ask for your higher power to remove them. So even you don't figure out how to change it and fix it. Again, over and over again. It's a deeper level of surrender, surrender, surrender. So that we can be reminded of who we are. So that we can go through life on life's terms, but still have the presence and the glory of the divine as it relates to us. Remember in those words of wisdom, it said it was electric. It says it's alive here. And talk about being practical. 12 step programs are very practical, right? When we started out with 2 guys, now it's millions of people, right? Huge organizations, and guess what? Nobody's in charge.
Amen.
It's not a money thing, right? Yep. It's truly spirituality at its purest, and that comes with fellowship. Trust in each other, to be honest with another. allow others to see our weaknesses, to hear of the things that we think are our shadows, and to know that we're not going to be judged by it. Right? So these are beautiful steps that help us. Here at Gathering, we have an amazing 12-step plus program that's run once a month, and it's a great opportunity for those of you who are in any 12-step program, which is really cool. It's in addition to, not instead of. We always think of that when it comes to this work like this. And it is a way for others to really get a glimpse of it and listen to the honesty of the stories. And listen to people be able to say the stuff of their past is not who they are today. How often do we do that? Who I was yesterday is going to define me today. Now, who you are today is going to define you tomorrow.
Amen.
Okay? Because you're going to remember that. And this you can change. This you can grow from. And this is a step up. So we're stepping into the Spirit. We're moving ourselves up. We're utilizing the tools that are given to us so that grace and glory and that relationship with the divine is strengthened and tangible and yours always. And so it is.
And so it is.